This happened yesterday. Tuesdays through Thursdays are my long days at school, and I decided to get some Taco Bell for dinner. It's fairly close to my home, plus I'm just lazy. The Taco Bell near me is slow and often understaffed, but I usually don't mind. The line wasn't at all long when I pulled up, but it was slow. I sat in the drive-thru for about 14 minutes before I could order. I order and pull up a few feet, but I can't pull up anymore. The guy behind me motions me to move forward some more, so I shake my head and point at the car ahead of me. He yells that I can pull up more, and then I tell him I might crash into him if I do that. And then all of a sudden, he gets out of his car. He's yelling that I'm dumb, and as he reaches my front bumper, I'm closing my window and making sure my doors are locked. He then yells, 1, 2, freaking 3 feet you have to pull ahead. Move your effing car. I tell him, no, I'm not going to put my car butt against theirs. And he calls me some random slur I forgot. He storms back into his car. I crack my window back down at this point, and he yells, move your car or I'll move it for you. I don't care about my piece of crap car, and taps my freaking bumper. I'm livid, scared, and low-key having a panic attack at this point. I yell, did you just tap my effing bumper? If you tapped my bumper, I'm calling the police and my insurance company. But this was a lie. My phone was dead, and it was in my bag. I'm panicking, and I was scared he had a knife or a gun. I don't even know why I even added in that I'd call my insurance. A worker, or maybe a manager, comes out, walks over to my car, looks at how much space I have, and tells the guy I can't pull forward anymore. He starts going off on her. He yells that he doesn't want their food anymore, and screams at the people behind him to move. Everyone reverses out of the drive-thru, so this jackass can pull out. He does so while yelling stuff I can't hear and flipping me off. The worker or manager goes back inside. I sit in the drive-thru for about 10 minutes waiting for the line to move while crying and shaking. When I got to the window worker told me that they were sorry and he wouldn't be allowed to come back. She asks me if I'm okay, and I fought to hold back more tears. It was really awkward. I paid for my food. They even gave me some free cinnamon twist, and then I drove home, still shaking. Apparently, bad things happen when I want fast food. I've been reading this stuff for a while, but never figured I'd have to post here. But something wild happened to my girlfriend and I at Burger King a couple weeks ago. It wasn't necessarily creepy, but definitely scary. Here it goes. We ordered some food, got our drinks, and sat down at a table near the corner of the restaurant. A minute after we order, a guy goes up to the counter and orders. He wasn't out of place, so I didn't notice anything about him for a few minutes. He sits down where you would typically wait while you wait for your order, and the first thing that got our attention was, as a kid, maybe 8 to 9 years old, ran right past him. He loudly says, "Atheist," to the kid in an accusing tone. He then was milling about talking to a radio-like box and how he needed to move to the North Pole. It was seconds after that I noticed he was staring at us. As I made brief eye contact with him several times to check that he was indeed staring, he then walked over and sat at the table next to my girlfriend and I. Great. He then starts babbling to some imaginary person saying, I don't know. Homeless and mentally ill are common in this area, especially this side of town, so we are on edge, but not surprised by this behavior. The lady working calls for order 179. The guy says, they were before me, motioning to us, since he apparently forgot his number. The lady said 2 cheeseburgers, and he insisted that it is our food. By this time, I'm realizing what was happening, and I said, oh, yeah, we are 178. At this point, he snapped and totally lost it on me. You Californians need to learn how to open your effing mouths. As he grabbed his food and began walking in my direction to the exit, I mustered up what fight or flight response I had in the moment to say, have a nice day, see ya, as he approached the door. And crazy guy continues to cuss at me, calling me names, etc. A few more words were exchanged, but I made sure to stand my ground, but not say anything off color as he made his way out. As he left, apparently continued to scream at us through the window. All employees and customers in the place were looking at me in shock, and I was shocked too. The part that bothers me about this interaction is that the moment he walked past me, I saw in his eyes how removed from reality he was. Whether because of drugs or mental illness, or a combination of both, he was also much larger than me, so if he wanted to hurt me or my girlfriend, he likely could have. So crazy homeless guy at Burger King, let's please never meet again. It was the midsummer on a Sunday when I planned to meet one of my girlfriends in the city. This happened to me a year ago. I was 15 at the time, and I dressed in a pretty provoking manner. I wore the casual Latino, quote, gang style. No one really wanted to mess with me, especially since I'm a pretty big guy, 200 pounds, big, but not fat, 5'11", and I have a mean look, bald head, and a thin scar that reaches down the side of my face from a fight I got into before. I also have a few amateur self-inflicted tattoos down my forearms, and hands that are pretty meaningless, but more creepy and ugly. I also know how to fight. I've been in boxing ever since I was born. Anyways, back to the story. I took the bus to visit one of my girlfriends. I got to her house in the morning. At about 11, she complained that she texted me, but I had no messages from her. I left her house at about 6 and caught the late bus home. I thought I was home free until the driver told me the bus was out of service. The sun was beginning to go down. It was dark when the bus driver left. I pulled out my phone to call my mom. I had an unread message from my phone company saying my phone service was being disconnected because of a non-payment. Great. This is also probably why my friend's text didn't go through. Now, I'm stuck in the middle of the most poverty-stricken countries with no way to contact my parents or even get a ride home. I was in front of a movie theater and a mall. A few people loitering at the bus stop rushed to me and asked if I was selling dope. Really, wasn't surprised about that. I walked away and was spooked by a homeless lady throwing bottles and screaming at the top of her lungs for no apparent reason. I ran a block away looking for a payphone, a way to call my parents, when I reached a McDonald's, where I was planning on calling my parents with their free Wi-Fi. My phone died when I got there. I paid for a drink and sat down. I was so helpless. I looked around to see if I could ask someone to use their phone to call my parents. There was a man sitting at a table over, and he was alone. So I approached him and asked him if I could use his phone, and he said yes. I frantically dialed my house phone. My mom answered and said she was on her way to pick me up. This man told me to sit with him, to calm down, and eat a burger with him, which he already ordered. When I went to refill my cup, I glanced over and saw him putting something into my burger and placed it on my side. I sat back down with him and told him I wasn't hungry. He said alright and placed it on the tray, not touching it again. He was an old man. He had glasses and was pretty fit for his age, and he was missing his pinky and index finger on his right hand, which made him eat fries really abnormally. He ate really fast, as if someone was going to take his food away if he didn't, swallowing it without even chewing. He was probably 50 years old. He told me he was Siberian, working for a government project. He said he gets lots of money and that he has a white Mercedes-Benz outside. He offered me a ride home, where I declined and told him my mother was already coming. It gave me a creepy smirk, which ran chills down my spine and made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. I was about to flip out. I wanted to beat the crap out of him. I was furious. Why was he doing this to me? I thought this only happened in movies. I'm a big guy. No one should be messing with me. Look at my tattoos. Look at my appearance. You shouldn't mess with me. I heard my mom's voice as the front door opened, and I felt calm. I got up and waved goodbye. My mom and I were at a red light when I noticed a white Mercedes-Benz roll up right by my mom's car. This isn't a usual car to see in this poverty-stricken area, so I was pretty sure it was the man. I thought he was going a different direction, but once my mom got on the freeway, I knew he was following us. Each lane we crossed, he did. The exit we got out of, he did. I didn't want to alarm my mom, so I asked her if she can stop at the store so I could buy some chips. We pulled into a parking lot. As I saw the man drive off, noticing the shine of light off his glasses, I knew I wasn't being paranoid. When my mom drove me home, I didn't notice any car trailing us, As we pulled into the driveway, I noticed the Mercedes-Benz pass by. How in the hell? I was freaking out as I noticed the shine of light off his glasses. Now, he knew where I lived. I didn't want to tell my parents anything. I was sure I was going to give my dad a heart attack. He wasn't in the best conditions at the time. My mother was already stressing about it, and my brothers were too young to understand anything. I had a gun underneath my mattress that I used to feel tough, but I needed it now more than ever. I was the black sheep in the family, so I was usually left home alone. I heard my blue-nosed pit bull barking in the front lawn. I looked outside the window and noticed the man passing by, trying to secretly take pictures of my house. I saw his car pass by my house a few minutes later. This happened the next day, and then it happened a few more times, and then it stopped. Though, when I was with my homeboys after school a month after, I noticed the Mercedes parked on the opposite side of the road from where I usually exit school. It was after detention, so pretty much no one was around. I knew it was him because I could see the shine of light on his glasses. I told my friends, since there was about 8 of us. My friends joked before they told them about this guy, saying I'm crazy and they'd beat his ass if they see him. My friends immediately ran over to the car and one of them pulls out a gun from his backpack. I was frozen with adrenaline and fear. I knew he was bluffing because the gun is never loaded. It's just for show, or was it? I debate that to the day. Keep in mind, after this, it's a secret between us. No cops can be involved. I can't call the cops on him anymore. What am I gonna say? We pulled a gun on him. We threatened to kill him. We can't even prove that he's been stalking me. Besides, it's my word against this old man, who is rumored to work for the government. I also have a police and mental health record, so I was definitely unreliable, and I was going back to the loony bin, or back to juvenile, if cops find out. I was scared as hell, but at the same time, my heart started pumping faster and faster. It was a mixture of adrenaline and fear, because I don't want to go back to loony bin, or back to juvie. Creepy rich stalker that I met at McDonald's, let's never meet again, for your own safety and mine. This happened 2 weeks ago. I was with my mom at McDonald's after getting out of school, waiting for my dad to drive us home in our car. We were eating, and this man looked like he was in his 30s, and he came up to us and asked us for money. He looked like a homeless, but his eyes looked like he was on drugs. My mom gave him $2, and he had a homeless-looking friend and gave him the money. 10 minutes later, he came back asking us for more money, and he said he needed $10. That's when me and my mom got very nervous. My mom said, "No, I don't have any more money." And he went back with his other homeless-looking friend, whispered something in his ear, and looked at us. That's when I lost it. I told my mom, "Let's get out of here. What if they plan on robbing us?" My mom agreed, and as we were walking out the door, they saw us and followed. Luckily, my dad had just arrived, and as soon as they saw my dad, they went back inside of McDonald's. I was very nervous, and I hadn't gone there since, because a lot of other homeless people and mentally ill go there a lot.